Do you like the show and you want to make your own? Well, let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless for what you can create. Now, Anchor is going to distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast. No minimum listenership needed. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Welcome into the Friday, August 19th edition. The Drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for tuning in. We are here until 6 o'clock, taking your phone calls at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. The text line is open and ready to go, 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. Coming up this hour, we're going to hear from Marshall volleyball coach Ari Agnus. The green and white scrimmage is coming up on Saturday, so we haven't had a chance to talk to Ari in a bit. So she's joining us on the program. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Rough N Rowdy that's coming up tonight at the Mountain Health Arena, 8 o'clock. This is going to be on pay-per-view also. And it's brought to you in part by Barstool Sports. Now, earlier in the morning, had a chance to join a couple of gentlemen on their program. Barstool Sports has a gigantic network of shows, content, and I was on the show with Kirk Minihane. He hosts the Kirk Minihane Show. He was with us here in our studios this morning. It was a blast to be on with him. So he's going to come back and talk to us a little bit about what's happening tonight at the Mountain Health Arena. They're pushing Ashley Cupcake Wiles. She is fighting out of Tri-State Fitness Boxing. As I mentioned, if you haven't got your tickets yet, still some tickets to get, and it's on pay-per-view. But they're here. They're supporting Ashley, so we're going to find out a little bit more about that relationship. And as I mentioned, your texts, phone calls, we're going to take all of those, so looking forward to it. Let's get you caught up on what happened yesterday. Marshall University women started the season with a draw. They were facing off against High Point, had to rally late to tie it up. And so they start the season without a win, without a loss. So 0-1 back in action on Sunday, taking on Akron. It's 1 o'clock at Hoops Family Field. Now, some other news coming out of Marshall today. And again, it's a Friday, so, light on what's happening with Marshall football today. But we did find out that there have been some more changes to staffing. Yeah, you've been following BA, right? Ben Ashford. He has been elevated. He was someone who was brought in to be the director of sports performance. So he's been moved up to assistant AD, and he's going to also now serve on the senior staff. And he's going to have a little bit more of an overall hand guiding all of Marshall's strength and conditioning programs. So he gets elevated to assistant athletic director of sports performance. Moving up is Evan Mills. He's now going to be the director of sports performance, and he's been with the program since 2018, so he's moving up. And Marshall's really reorganizing how these departments are going to be handled. You've seen the release the other day. If you follow that, there were just a lot of titles, a lot of positions have been reorganized, and that's coming from Christian Spears, Marshall's new athletic director, bringing in sort of a different perspective than we've seen at Marshall for many years. And of course, he's been at some major universities. His last stop before coming to Marshall was Pitt. So he's got a different style, how things should be organized. And we're seeing that a little bit more in the way Marshall is redoing some of their departments. And Ben Ashford's going to have a little bit more of a guiding hand now in all of Marshall's strength and conditioning. And honestly, I think that's a good move. We have wondered if there would be something a little bit more uniform as far as trying to make, honestly, let's be quite candid. There have been times when we've seen a few Marshall teams go out there, and Marshall hasn't been the biggest team on the field or on the court. So hopefully this will be an improvement for the Thundering Herd. We also have got baseball coming up tonight. It starts at 6:40. That's our airtime. It's the Reds taking on the Pirates. Huge battle here between the fourth best team in the NL Central versus the fifth best team in the NL Central. Of course, yeah, we're pulling for the Pirates, right? Pirates go on the air 6:40 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The Pirates are now 46-72 overall, and they're 25-31 at home. And they are 23-49 in games where they have given up at least one home run. On the other hand, Cincinnati has a 20-34 record on the road. They're 46-70 overall, and they are a outstanding 25-55 in games where they have given up at least one home run. So the bad news, if you're a Pirates fan, good for the Reds. 5-4 Reds lead this series. Coming up tonight, 6:40 is our airtime here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So that's what we've got coming up this weekend. We've got Bengals football as well this weekend. So we're getting back into football. Baseball, football, that's going to pretty much occupy everything that's happening locally on the station. Saturday's Fan Day at Marshall University, your opportunity to go hang out with the team for a little while, get those autographs, get things signed. There's going to be lots of opportunity to get your posters signed, your football signed, whatever item you have. So that's coming up tomorrow. And then a week from Saturday, there'll be the final media opportunity, so we'll get a chance to catch up with Coach Huff again on the following Saturday before we get into game week preparation. I know we haven't had much come out of camp, so I'm hoping at this point next week we'll get more of a feel for where this team is at. And I know it's just been maddening. We haven't had the daily reports. Camp is closed. Media, only one opportunity a week to speak to Coach Huff. I don't know if we've generated enough excitement for the Thundering Herd. We're trying to generate excitement for the Thundering Herd. At the same time, you're trying to keep all of that under wraps. Second here, head coach. Maybe this is more of the Nick Saban game plan than we're used to. But I know there hasn't been much as far as actual information coming out. All I know is Henry Colombi is probably going to be the quarterback. Rasheen Ali is still going to be your number one running back. And the rest of it, we'll find out. But Fan Day first on Saturday with the Thundering Herd. So speaking of the Thundering Herd, we're going to take our first break, come back. We've got Ari Agnus, head coach of the Marshall volleyball team. Green and white scrimmage is coming up Saturday, 1 o'clock. So if you're coming down early for Fan Day, here's an opportunity for you to maybe go out and support the women a little bit before you go to Jones C. Edwards Stadium. So Ari is going to be back on the program. Looking forward to talking to her. And then later on, it's going to get really fun. Not that Ari is not fun. It's going to get really fun because we're going to talk about Rough N Rowdy. It's coming up tonight at Mountain Health Arena, and Kirk Minihane is going to join us. It was great to be on his podcast earlier today. He is repping Ashley Cupcake Wiles. She is fighting out of Tri-State Fitness Boxing. I've seen her social media. She looks serious. She looks like she's ready to go. I would put my money on her. So we'll talk about that. But first, Ari Agnus, when we continue with this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Friday edition, The Drive, getting your weekend set here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I want to welcome back to the program the head coach of the Marshall volleyball coach, Ari Agnus. Marshall volleyball, green and white scrimmage coming up on Saturday. I described Ari as a boss lady on Twitter. Is an accurate description, boss lady?
I mean, I think all females are boss ladies, so I think you are completely correct.
Okay, that is a fair statement there. Every one of you are your bosses, and so I'll yield that point there, but you're like the boss of the bosses.
I think that's say so. I think it's true.
I think it's a fair statement.
As long as you say it, then I think it's true.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. You're the boss of bosses when it comes to. I mean, look, let's be honest. When it comes to coaches at Marshall University, you're the boss of bosses.
I don't know that they would agree with you, but I mean, I'm here for it.
Who's going to argue with you? Is Huff going to argue with you? Is D'Antoni going to argue with you? Is Kemper going to argue with you?
So.
Yeah, I don't think so. They know. Game respects game. They know.
That's fair. That's a really good point.
I appreciate you doing this. You're at some event that you're always at some event when I bug you to do these things, and you're taking some time.
No, it's okay.
You got something special going on Saturday.
Yeah, well, we're in preseason right now, and then so tonight we are having a team dinner, and then we are going over to the movie theater to be able to watch We Are Marshall together. So that tomorrow morning, what we always do on the day of our green and white scrimmage is go to the cemetery. So it's kind of like it's just a preseason tradition that we do, but this year we're able to watch it in the movie theater, which I think will be really cool. And then we've got green and white tomorrow, and then Sunday we'll have a small practice, and then we start school, and then it's game week.
You know, you could have worked in the Rough and Rowdy tonight as well. There's combat sports going on downtown Huntington. You could have seen the movie and then went over and watched some combat sports.
You know, maybe we still can. You can't put it out of the question.
There you go. There's a local boxer. Her nickname is Cupcake.
Okay.
Ashley Cupcake Wiles. She is fighting out of Tri-State Fitness Boxing, so she will be there. I think she's going to be headlining, or at least she's one of the main events. So there you go. You can just head on over to the arena afterwards and watch a little boxing.
Love that. Instead of ice cream, we'll go watch boxing.
That sounds like a thing you should do. Green and white scrimmage coming up on Saturday. What will this look like this year? And there's an opportunity for Herd fans maybe just to come down, make a day of it, come see the volleyball team, head over to Fan Day for football. So really a great opportunity for a lot of people just maybe make an afternoon and an early evening of Marshall athletics.
I couldn't agree more. I think so. What we'll do is we split the team very evenly. They've been practicing with their teams for the past couple of sessions, and they just get to compete. We played an exhibition at Ohio, so that gave us a really good standing on where we are, what we need to work on, what things we think we need to capitalize on. So that was awesome because we went there in the spring. We did not do very well. They're a really good team. They're big. They hit hard, and we came out in a 1-4, which was amazing, and still have a lot to clean up, but we've got some really fun special pieces that are just so different than what we've had before. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really cool. And I think that, I think 100% just come watch us, come see who they are, come see what they're about. It's fun. And then run over to football and get there for their fan day. It'll be awesome. It'll be a great Saturday.
Is there anyone you can single out just yet that's really stood out to you as someone that I know you're excited for all of them. I don't want to put you on that spot, but is there someone you're like, oh, if she just hits it, we're going to be so good?
Yeah, Bryn Brown, she was a freshman for us last year, and she just kind of struggled her freshman year as far as volleyball goes. She comes from a long line of athletic family, and mom, is the assist record holder at Toledo University. So it's in her blood, it's in her DNA, and her first fall, she just struggled a little bit with being able to figure out where she could find her niche, right? Freshman year, you never know how it's going to go. And this year, she is everything that we recruited. And against Ohio, she put up a triple-double, which means that she had at least double digits in kills, double digits in digs, and double digits in assists. And so she's going to be really, really key for us. She's just a triple threat. She dishes the ball really well. She can see things. She can block well. She's the real deal, the whole package. Humble as all get out, and just a fun kid. So I think for sure she's going to be somebody that nobody's seen before and somebody to look out for, and she's fun. I do think Lydia Montag has stepped into a more explosive role. I think getting, any kind of transfer is kind of tough to be able to get your footing in right away. So she was able to take a year and be with us and played, but she had some swings against Ohio that they were really good. Then we've got Reagan Tinkle from ASU that really showed out at Ohio as well. And Macy McElhaney and Olivia Fogo will be constant solids for us that aren't new pieces, but I think that they will be in a role that we haven't seen them before.
Going into the Sun Belt, how much does veteran leadership mean? How important is that?
It's kind of everything, because we've been blessed that we've been formulating this culture for going on 4 years now. And we are now at the point where the culture handles itself because of our leadership. So we don't have to have the long talks. We don't have to explain everything because the captains and the leaders have already kind of taken care of those things, and they've taken care of the expectations. And, this is how we do things. This is what Marshall volleyball is. This is what we stand for. So we get to focus as coaches. We get to focus on volleyball a lot more. And that's awesome. So to have that veteran leadership, to have people like Macy McElhaney and Olivia Fogo and Riley Winslow, who are all our captains, to have them just run with it, it makes it seamless. And it makes, I think, the transition for bringing in 7 new people, I think that makes that less stressful because it's just kind of flown. It's been really cool.
Ari Agnus is with me, head coach of the Marshall volleyball team. Let's talk about the Sun Belt as far as the preseason rankings are concerned. How prominent are those East Division standings right now on your bulletin board?
I mean, I believe when you look at it RPI-wise, I think everything is there and it's fair. And our goal is to win the Sun Belt, so it doesn't matter where somebody's ranked, where we're ranked, or who's in front of us. All we can control is the one match that we have in front of us. We need to do really well in preseason. We need to then be able to just come out guns blazing and get after it. So I think based off of how teams have done in the past, I think they're completely legit and I think they're fair. And I'm okay with it because we did not have a solid year last year. So to think that we should be ranked higher would just be silly. So I think that based off of our RPI and our record last year, I think it's a fair sitting. And I would have been fine if we were last because I still think we're going to win it. So I'm not really concerned with where they ranked us.
True, you're not concerned, but isn't it a great way to motivate your team? Or do you even go with that? Do you look, they don't even respect you?
We didn't get we got no nominations for, individual awards, which fine, but you lose 65% of your offense. You're not going to. You lose the libero of the year. We've lost those pieces, if you will. So that's why yes, Macy and Olivia have been in our program for a long time, but they haven't shown or been able to shine the way that Destiny and Sierra and Sydney and Sarah Shank have. So I think to me, it's kind of like, I know that people respect us in the conference, but I'm kind of excited just to see that, I think we're better. We're different, but I think we're better in a lot of ways. And I think it'll be really surprising to some people that don't know anything about anybody that'll be on our starting lineup.
You think part of it also is how well do these teams know you, and how well do you know those teams and their personnel?
Yeah, we know a couple. ODU is coming with us. We know them pretty well. We've kind of been in around a couple of the other ones, but as you know, I know all of the coaches, and a lot of them really, really well. They're all really awesome humans that work hard. So you kind of want it. You want everybody to do. I just think it's going to be a conference where everybody gives their best and just competes. So I think that's really exciting. But I think personnel-wise, we're still learning, and we're still trying to figure out who are everybody's best pieces and how do they play. We've watched a lot of previous film to see how they defend. So how can we run our offense, or how do they run their offense so that we can change our defense? So we've been in the nitty-gritty of that, but everything will change first weekend once everybody actually puts their starting lineups out there. But it's good to have a base, and I think we match up pretty well.
Ari Agnus is with me, the head coach of the Marshall volleyball team. The green and white scrimmage is Saturday, 1 p.m. Is this a free event? Do people have
free.
to?
Anybody come, please bring any and everyone. The team is so excited. You go through 2 weeks of double days and kind of don't get to see real life for a bit. So I think that just to have people come out there, because then we open up at home next weekend in our first match to come get to know us, come to see how we are, and then come support us when we're playing against somebody that we'll hopefully beat next Friday.
That match, of course, is South Carolina State and Wright State first, and then you got Wright State, Evansville. Then it gets fun here. You got the Marshall Invitational to really kick things off. So this looks like it's going to be a great event with more than just Marshall playing volleyball. So more people can come in and see a lot of action.
Yes.
Ari Agnus with me, the head coach of the Marshall volleyball team, and things get started with the green and white scrimmage, which is Saturday at 1 p.m., and then next week it gets underway. I don't want to say for real because I know every day is for real. Exhibition too.
it at least counts on the book. So I think it's probably a little bit more real.
Okay, counts on the books, and first go around in the Sun Belt. Let's talk about fun things that are happening for you before I let you go. You're getting a new playing surface here. How about that?
How wild is that?
That's crazy. This Spears guy apparently listened to you.
He is. I think I listened to him. He has visions with every sport. There's nobody there's no stone left unturned, right? It's not. It's in everybody. The better that we all are, the better that we all can be then together to lean on one another. And the TerraFlex is going to be awesome. We were able to design it as a staff, and I think that that's really cool. So it's going to be super exciting. It's a beautiful sentiment to say that, this is a school that cares about volleyball, cares about women's sports, cares about, these athletes. Volleyball is the fastest growing women's in girls sport. So how do we show that we give the best to our student athletes? So it's awesome. It is really, really cool.
How much of a important upgrade is having that surface for you?
Huge. The floor, with as much as we jump, it kind of cushions the knees a little bit more. You can slide and dive on it better. On wood courts, sometimes you stick or you slide too much. So it's first class. It really is first class.
Enjoy We Are Marshall tonight. Maybe get some ice cream. If you're downtown still, go see some fighting tonight. Tomorrow, Saturday, 1 o'clock, green and white scrimmage. Everyone's welcome. Doors open. Noon, earlier, later?
Honestly, I think they're just going to be open. But noon, 11:30 noon. But noon we'll start warm-ups, and then we'll get it rocking at 1 p.m.
All right. We'll talk to you next week. Good luck. Who are you rooting for, the green or the white?
I'm just sitting on one side so that I can say that I was they'll switch sides, and then I was for sure on the winning side at one point.
Fair. So are your assistant coaches taking one side each?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
They each get a team. So it's Charlie is with the white team and Bijane is with the green team. So we'll see. We'll see who comes out on top.
I can't root against either one of them.
I know. They're great.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to lose.
I can't pick a side.
You're going to have to.
You know what? I hope you tie. I hope you draw.
Okay.
I'll take a draw.
All right.
Yeah, tell them I can't go against either one of them. And see, you know what? Have them lobby me tonight on social media which team I should root for. See if they'll do that.
Okay, fair enough.
Have a fun night. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Coach.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Ari Agnus, head coach of the Marshall women's volleyball team. We are going to talk about Rough N Rowdy coming up tonight. Barstool Sports, Mountain Health Arena. We got to talk about Ashley Cupcake Wiles, and to do that, Kirk Minihane is with us from Barstool Sports and the Kirk Minihane Show when we continue with this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Friday, August 19th edition. The Drive continues on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We stream live at ESPN941.com. I want to welcome to my program now. I had a chance earlier this morning to be on the Kirk Minihane Show. It was the most enjoyable experience I've had in a long time, and joining me on the program is the host, Kirk Minihane. He's in town because Rough N Rowdy is coming up tonight at Mountain Health Arena. Barstool Sports sponsoring this event, and you're here because, well, one, it's going to be a great event, and two, there is a tremendous fight coming up tonight featuring Ashley Cupcake Wiles. I saw her on social media earlier. She doesn't look like she's playing around. This isn't someone who just signed up and said, hey, let me go fight. She looks like she is ready to go.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely not. She's the real deal. And, I think her opponent, who's a Barstool colleague of mine, is not taking it as seriously. She's kind of having fun with it. But I went in at Barboursville at Tri-State Fitness yesterday, watched her work out, hung out with her yesterday at the weigh-in. She is not messing around. She's in the fight. I think she wants to do this, long term. She is not messing around tonight.
So what was it about her that brought you to her? What was it about her personality, what she was doing that really...
The oldest story of all time, hatred. Her opponent is somebody who I was friends with and turned her back on me. And so I turned my back on her and threw my support to Cupcake. And all the Minifans out there, Paul, all the followers now have her back. This is a big night And it's it starts in about 2.5 hours, like you said, right down the street from here. They tickets are still available if people want to go, and if they want to buy it at buyrnr.com, they can do that as well.
I was trying to talk we had the volleyball coach on earlier that event tomorrow. I was trying to talk her into it because they're downtown tonight to watch a movie. We Are Marshall, because that's a team thing.
Sure.
And I told her afterwards, just go see
Swing by.
Yeah, go see the fight to fire you up.
Right. Yeah, it should. I mean, so this is I think Barstool's. I forget how many Rough N Rowdies they've done. It's my first one. I'm from Boston. I came down here for this. The support Cupcake, but I'm looking forward. It's gonna be wild. There's 22 fights. It's absolute insanity. But I think it's gonna be a good time.
What makes this better than your usual, hey, let's sign up some people and let's go watch them fight event?
Well, I think there's the Barstool element. A lot of personalities are going to be there. Dave Portnoy is going to be there. Big Cat from Part of My Take will be there. I'll be there. A whole bunch of people. And then just the fighters themselves. All of these crazy personalities. There's feuds. There's backstory. There's intrigue. It's everything. It's got a little it's real, obviously, but there's a WWE sort of circus element to it. I was watching just the weigh-in last night. It was insane watching these people. I think it's going to be I'm prepared to just sort of have my mind blown here. It should be a good time.
And that is coming up tonight again, 8 o'clock at Mount Health Arena. If you can't get tickets, there's still tickets available, I think.
Yep.
You can get this on pay-per-view.
Yep. And
you get a lot of people who follow this. This isn't just something that spur of the moment, hey, let's throw this on, see if people like it. I mean, this has really become something that's a big event.
I was talking to somebody in production today, and they think it might be the biggest one, and they're looking for north of 70,000 pay-per-view buys. I mean, it's a real, it's a real deal. It's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and they do it, I think, 3 or 4 times a year. And it seems like, they have this base that's really, really into it and enjoy it. Like I said, I don't know what I'm walking into. I know I'm Cupcake's mouthpiece, so I'll be doing the talking for her. Main event. I would only work the main event, Paul, as you know. So it should be, and I don't know what to expect from her opponent. I just don't know. I predict Cupcake in the first round, though. First round knockout.
First round knockout. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be following her after this fight. You're going to basically be her mouthpiece for the rest for her career, or how far do you see this going?
I suspect in my career, Paul, if anybody listening to this wants to do a Google search, it'll end badly. There'll be some fallout between the two of us. It'll be my mistake. I'll overreact at something she does, and then we'll never speak again. Then we'll speak again, then we won't. It'll have its usual Shakespearean path to tragedy.
Are you sure? Because I've seen your followers today.
Yes.
They're a passionate group.
Yeah, and they like you. They've embraced you. They've embraced the station.
I appreciate that.
I'm looking forward to working with you at the station. As we talked about earlier today on my program, I had I guess you would call it a conversation with the boss, where I sat down and he told me the history of his life for about 3.5 hours, and then I escaped out of there. So
Oh, you got stuck in his office.
I got stuck in his office. I sat in the seat. I saw the records. I got the history of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I'm sorry, we could have got you out of there sooner.
I wish I had been warned, but he's very, very nice, very sweet guy. But I got a monologue that's it was essentially like a political filibuster. I thought he was going to collapse. He was speaking for so long.
He's good at that.
Yeah,
he's very passionate about himself.
Yes, and very nice, great boss. I could tell he's a great boss. But he would ask me a question so I can answer it. He'd say, "Oh, it's funny you mentioned that because in my case," and then he would tell his story. But that's okay. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, really nice guy.
Yeah,
has a
and loves you. Oh, he's praising you.
I appreciate
that.
Meeting. I appreciate.
Because I was ripping you in that meeting. He wouldn't have it. He was like, "No, great guy." Da. So I was impressed with that loyalty. I like that. I was giving him a test. He passed.
Right. I've noticed a trend. You were on our morning show with Big John and Bill Cornwell.
Well, no, I wasn't.
What was that?
I'll be on. I think I'm.
Oh, that's right. It's in the future.
I'm gonna swing by there tomorrow morning.
That's in the future.
During the top 40 countdown.
That's in the future.
93.7 The Dog tomorrow morning. Paul, do I need to do your job for you?
Right. That's the future.
The future.
Even though it's pre-recorded and you busted that earlier on the show.
As far as you say, I have no idea.
I can play it back.
Yes. Okay. Well,
I can go back and get the podcast, which does tremendously well. I hear.
Yeah, it does very well. Yeah, we're very happy with it. And, but I was saying to you guys, I think I said or will say to the guys at 93.7 The Dog. I love the fact this is a local station. I love the fact that you guys react to stuff. I like that you have Marshall that you're tied into, and I love that there's a place still where you can get immediate reaction. Something crazy happened right now in terms of Marshall. You kick me out of here, and you do it for, until the sun went. Until the sun came up tomorrow, probably, right? Which is great. I mean, there's still a spot for that, which I like.
Local radio, we really embrace that. But listening to your show, it feels like local radio. A lot of people maybe don't have the experience to do a show, and they get a microphone, they get a computer, they record some audio, and that's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. But then you listen to what you're doing. There's not too many shows out there what you're doing for Barstool or what you're doing.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. I mean, we've kind of created our own world. We have, as you saw today, I'm sure, a super loyal audience, very into it. And we kind of talk about what we feel like talking about. If it's a big story of the day, great. If it's the fact that my producer did something stupid, great. And then we do it 3 days a week, couple hours, and it's going well. And I miss parts of radio, but I'm enjoying this journey as well.
Joining us on the program, it's coming up tonight, and he is repping it, Kirk Minihane. It's the Rough N Rowdy Barstool Sports event at the Mountain Health Arena, and Ashley Cupcake Wiles fighting out of Tri-State Fitness Boxing. When she wins.
Right.
When she wins. Mm-hmm. Since you're repping her right now, we got to get her on the show.
No, she would definitely. Should
do
definitely
a victory lap.
She'd definitely come on. Yeah, she for sure. Now, I'd have to, of course, now fly back down and do another, because she's not going to talk. So, I mean, she can come in the studio.
So that's part of the reason why you need to be here, to rep her, because she's not talking.
Well, she's not. She says she gets nervous speaking. She's a fighter. Not. I'm trying to think of the great fighters in history who were not given the gift of gab like Muhammad Ali. I'm trying to think of a Joe Frazier type, right? And Ivan Drago. Just muscle, but, not given high proficiency on the microphone. That's okay. I mean, she's not paid to do that. She's paid to knock people out. And she's going to knock Alex Bennett out. If you're driving around right now, I mean, this is 100. How far is this reach here? 3 states?
Oh, we're 3 states. Obviously, three states.
Yeah, I drove 10 minutes to have lunch in Kentucky today, so it must be 3 states. If you're around right now, you want to swing by Mountain Health Arena. I keep wanting to call it Mental Health Arena. Mountain Health Arena, right?
Mountain Health Arena.
Mountain Health Arena. Go in there. There are some tickets left, I think. Again, buy R&R. Yeah, and I think it's like $25-$30 for 22 fights. That's not a bad deal.
That's a huge deal.
That's not a bad. And today's I know Barstool's worked hard to keep those prices down, and you're going to see. I'm trying to think if you're not really familiar with Barstool, it's still good. You get to watch the crazy people knock each other out. No headgear, 1 minute rounds, sprint, craziness. The Rough and Rowdy ring girls as well. There's a. I'm trying to think of, is it Little People? I believe is a correct title for these people now. Well, a couple of those fights tonight. I mean, it's like it's watching, like I said last night, watching everyone sign up was like being at the circus, or like a WWF event from like 1982. Just crazy. I was
trying to explain Barstool also to our traffic manager earlier today, and he's like, Rough and Rowdy. I'm like, no, trust me, it's on brand for Barstool. It's completely on brand.
Right.
There's a lot of fun that comes with Barstool, because at the end of the day, if I take this job seriously, my craft, that's one thing. But if I take sports seriously, I'm missing the point, because I'm in the toy store right now of life. Covering sports, that's the toy department.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, there are, that's what I say sometimes. I say, because I'll come home from work or doing the show, and I'll think it's not a serious show, but you have to take it. You do have to take it seriously. It's your job. So, I mean, I think Barstool has kept things pretty light. I think they've actually gotten almost away as a company overall from sort of the edginess and craziness from even, say, 5-6 years ago. They become a little more mainstream. I think that's life. When you get bigger, you get bought by a company. Penn National now owns the Barstool completely. So I think that's part of it too. But I could tell you, I worked at major radio stations, one of the biggest in the country, and I find Barstool a much better place to work, much better.
Joining us on the program, Kirk Minihane. He is with Barstool Sports, and as we mentioned, your show, it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right?
That's sort of what I want to do.
Okay, yeah, that's the best kind.
Yeah, I roll in. Sometimes I'll do it on a Tuesday night and on a Thursday and a Friday. We do 3 a week, and it's, and I think from a podcast perspective, I think people are okay with that. It's just different than radio. If we drop it on a Tuesday morning, they have it all day Tuesday. If we drop it on a Tuesday night, they don't. I mean, they complain, but I think they understand.
For a workflow, how does that help you personally? Just knowing that I can do this when I want to, how I want to, and just not have the stress of day-to-day radio sometimes, because I don't think people understand. Sometimes we do this to ourselves, but we can make our job, which is supposed to be fun, stressful.
Yeah, and again, I mean, there are people out there driving around with real jobs. But I mean, I worked in Boston, high pressure, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., 5 days a week for 7 or 8 years. This is, way, way, way more relaxed. You kind of, you go in, you do your show. And I control it. I walk in and it's my show, where before I work, there's a program director, and you know how awful they are.
Oh, they're terrible.
The worst. Salespeople, you know how bad they are. Vice presidents, media critics. Now I just go in, I do whatever I want. It's a bubble. I leave. I can say anything. I don't hear anything from Barstool ever. They're happy with the audience. They're happy with how we're doing. They leave me completely alone.
And the support system you've got. I mean, I was mentioning earlier, the following you have, they love you. They're passionate about you.
Sometimes,
they love you. Not your producer, not so much him. But
you met him today. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Is the seat? Do you feel dumber now sitting in the seat after he was in it?
I disinfected. After he left, I came in here. I disinfected.
That's not enough. You need to you need to delouse. You need to fumigate. You need 3 weeks of this place because your IQ has already dropped 10 points. There was not a lot of room to start with, but I think it is now plummeted, completely plummeted.
I will recover. I work here, so I have a leg up on a lot of people.
That's true. I'm telling you, I could work in this place all day. It's a great studio. Great studio.
We enjoy it.
Yes, it's great. Oh, great. I love it here.
It's different than some of the places I've worked.
Yeah.
It's laid back a little bit. And the bad thing you guys mentioned on your show is, of course, the salespeople are right out my door.
I would have a problem with.
Yeah, thankfully they don't come running in.
Right. Like I said, if I worked here, the only thing I would have is I would need some sort of escalator out of here. I could just go right into my car and not go through there because I would get hives. Although, I bet you even the salespeople down here are nicer, no? Or are they just the same weasels?
Oh, no, salespeople are all the same.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They don't change.
Right. We were talking about this before. Yeah.
They don't change. They're all the same. No, we have a good group, but it's easier to do here because, again, we're local. It's fun.
Right.
Yeah, we try to make it fun. We try to realize that we're local and we try to do things for the community.
Yeah.
Sure, those people will also try to run you over and get a sale.
To make 30 cents, yeah.
They're salespeople.
That's their job, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not as stressful here as it can be at other places because I've worked for a corporation. I work for Clear Channel. It's a completely different vibe.
Right.
Corporate radio is different than local radio.
Totally. But this is great. No, I'm having a great – and I would like to think we'll be back at some point. Who knows? I don't know.
It's going to be a huge event. It's coming up tonight, 8 o'clock. It's also on pay-per-view, so people can't come tonight, or if they're a little too far away, can't make the drive.
Buy rnr.com.
Buy rnr.com. And the main event will be a fight between your nemesis and Ashley Cupcake Wiles.
Yeah, Quick Sports. I know you get out of there. Quick Sports on Alex Bennett, who the opponent is the Barstool. Her father-in-law Clay Bennett owns the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
Yeah, this man is driven. First of all, he left the city of Seattle in the dust. People have never recovered mentally from that. And now he's put the Oklahoma City Thunder, they won like 20 games this year. He's driven them into the ground. So, this is overall a family of losers, Paul, is my large point.
Speaking of losers, Dave is tweeting at us right now. He said
I think he's on a flight.
He said we're complaining about how stressful talking into a microphone is right now.
If he listened, what I said was there are people out there who have much tougher jobs. I think people in West Virginia, I don't know, I would say coal mining.
Very tough, very stressful.
Is it as tough as a morning show? Okay, fine. Yes.
Is it as tough as sitting in a studio with a laptop recording you?
Is it tougher than having Dave Cullen as your producer? No.
That's tough.
That is no man should go through that.
That's tough.
I met John McCain once, and he said no man should go through that.
By the way, I was asked earlier by one of your listeners to rate him.
Oh, well, he says he's a 9.5 out of 10.
I'll say this: one of my coworkers, she said, that guy was a real hottie. So I looked at her, and we stopped the conversation right there.
She was talking about Cullinane?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. One of my coworkers.
Did you fire her? Can you fire her?
No, I cannot. She's pretty
God.
valuable.
She said Cullinane's a hottie?
She did.
This is distressing.
She rated him high.
This is awful news.
She did.
I hope he's not listening. This is going to make his whole.
Oh, I'm sure he's listening. I'm sure he's listening.
He bailed, by the way. He flew back home. I'm me and Cupcake against the world tonight. Everyone at Barstool's rooting for Alex Bennett. It's me and Cupcake against the world.
So it should be.
Yeah, that's the way. There's no other way to do it.
So it should be. You know, that makes the victory a lot sweeter.
Yeah, there's nothing better than winning on the road. You know, that's the best win in sports, winning on the road.
Is it really a road win for her? If she wins here tonight, is it really a road? I mean, I think she's got home.
It's a road win for me.
It's a road win for you. Okay,
I'm not that. You know, she's great, but we're not. I'm not here for her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I need this road win.
You need this victory more than anybody.
By the way, buy these pay-per-views because I could use a little kickback myself.
Okay, how much of a kickback do you get so we can amp this up?
That's a good question. You know, I don't know that. I don't know. I'm not. Barstool pays me great, so I don't know if I'm now rattled by this coworker. That's what's really. I might just go home. I might skip the fight now.
No, you're not a quitter.
You're right.
You're not a quitter.
Yeah,
Dave's a quitter. You're not a quitter.
He took off. You're right.
He's a good guy, though, right?
No.
He's not?
No. No, he's fine. He's fine. He's a simple man, but he's a good man. He's a radio producer. How many producers have you worked with in your life in radio? They're all the same. They cannot articulate a single thought.
I call them interns.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're graduated interns in a way. Yeah.
That's basically what I have. I have interns.
Right. Yeah. But you're producing this show.
I am producing this show.
I'm not.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm talent and host.
I couldn't do that. I admire people. I can't press a button. You saw me. You set me up in here. If you didn't do that, I'd be dead right now.
talent. That's your job.
I know, but it's
actually that's solely your job. I mean, they teach that at Marshall University. You're the talent. You walk in, you sit down.
Right.
I've actually had that conversation with the professor. He's like, well, of course, you're the talent. You sit down, and the producer is supposed to have everything ready.
Even today's world, I feel like people should be more up to date on that stuff. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But Colleen's a 4.5.
Dave's a good guy.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know why you're saying this.
I don't know. I mean, I felt like he's a good guy.
You're a nice guy, so you're saying that. You don't have to say that. I'll say he's
Are you sure?
Guy. You?
Or him?
What? Who's sure about what? What are you talking about?
Are you sure
Paul?
he's a bad guy or a good guy?
No, he's the dummy. He's fine. He's harmless.
All right.
He's harmless.
You can listen to the show.
How was the volleyball segment? What did I miss?
Volleyball was good. Ari Agnus, who is
I saw that.
She is a boss and a half. She takes no garbage.
Is it a good team?
They will be. They're transitioning into the Sun Belt this year. So Marshall is moving.
Is Marshall himself? The whole conference is moving.
Marshall moved out of the Conference USA into the Sun Belt, and soon as everything started to fall apart again, and with the American coming and picking apart Conference USA, Marshall got out along with Southern Miss and Old Dominion, and actually forced conference's hand with some poorly written legal documents, and Marshall got out early. So
it was a good move.
Very good move.
Because I know the AD used to be a Pitt.
AD used to be a Pitt. Christian Spears.
This is something that Mike told me today during our
in your 3-hour conversation.
Yes, he told me something about the AD and something about Howard Schnellenberger. That's all I remember.
Oh, you got the Howard Schnellenberger.
I got 4 Howard Schnellenberger stories.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
He loves Howard.
He's his favorite person ever.
He loved him. I mean, they go down and take pictures of him at the statue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a statue.
Oh,
so
great.
Mike also goes and takes pictures of people's graves. So
yeah, it's true.
He mentioned that.
He did a dead tour in Boston.
So, he mentioned that. So he definitely is. He's a good boss.
He seems like a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
he loves Howard Schnellenberger.
That's okay.
And that is okay. But all right, Dave's an okay guy, kind of, maybe no.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
There you go.
And tonight, Rough N Rowdy, Barstool Sports, 8 o'clock, Mountain Health Arena, over 20 matches. And you are going to win tonight. If you're not going to cheat, there's not going to be any WWE interference.
I can't make any promises.
Okay. But Ashley Cupcake Wiles is. Yep. We're rooting for her, and then we'll try to get her on the show next week.
Absolutely, yeah, get her on.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, she's great. All right, thanks, Paul.
Appreciate you being on with us, Kirk. Coming up, we will wrap it up here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're wrapping up today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Don't forget, tomorrow, Marshall University, you've got the green and white scrimmage, Saturday, 1 p.m. You've got Fan Day, an opportunity to interact with the team as we get closer to the start of football season. You got something you want to get autographed, this is your day to get close and interact with the team. And then we're getting closer to the start, of course, of Marshall's trip in the Sun Belt. So that's coming up here in the next few weeks, but it gets really started tomorrow for you. Opportunity to interact with the Thundering Herd. And don't forget tonight, Barstool Sports, Rough N Rowdy. It's 8 o'clock at Mountain Health Arena. And we're all rooting for Ashley Cupcake Wiles. She is fighting out of the Tri-State Fitness Boxing Club. It's on pay-per-view as well. But head on down tonight. What are you doing tonight? Well, what you're doing is you're going to go down to 9th Street Live, where Hello June and Cutler Station will be performing. And then, after you go down and enjoy all the music, live music at 9th Street Live, you can head over to Mountain Health Arena, and you can get your ticket. Go support Ashley. Be loud. Be really obnoxious. Have a good time. And then we'll talk about it on Monday. So that's what we've got in store. And I want to thank everyone today on Twitter as well. A lot of great comments. And you know what? Yeah, Dave's a good guy. I think I can say that. Yeah, Kirk's not in here now. I think I would still say it. Yeah, Dave's a good guy. He's not a bad guy at all. He seems like a really good guy. So I'll probably be talking to him again because he wants to know who my coworker is that actually thought he was a 10. She's a follower of mine. She follows me on social media, so that'll be his first hint. I might reveal that name to him later. We'll see. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I want to thank for coming on the program Ari Agnus, head coach of the Marshall volleyball team, and Kirk Minihane from Barstool Sports. A great time spending with both him and his producer Dave today. Great guys. Love the show today. Check it out on Apple Podcast or wherever you get your podcast. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. Back on Monday here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Alex Thomas. Flood recovery efforts continue in Canal.